That's great news.
If you have this on your computer, if you've downloaded it, I sent you the link. If you downloaded it on your computer, you can access this. You don't have to be online to access it once you download it. And it has a lot of good pluses to it. So we're gonna kind of go through this. First of all, just show you a couple of things. Now you can play with it. It's got some stuff on there that I'm not going to talk about. But right here at the top, you got a file right here. Well, you can do this export, and you can print this out as a PNG image. So you could print out your Hebrew text as it comes up as a picture if you ever wanted to do that. I've done that a couple of times. Then you have the Old Testament, and you click on that, and it's got all the books in the Old Testament, and all of these are going to be the Hebrew text. So you can click on any book on there. You have the New Testament as well. Now the New Testament is in Greek, so this program does not have the New Testament in Hebrew, but it does have the New Testament in Greek if you want to do something like that. We're going to show you a little bit about how to do word searches, and it works the same way with the Greek as it does with the Hebrew. But you can actually do a word search on a particular word. Bookmarks, if you want to bookmark some scriptures, it gives you an option to do that. So you can go back at any time, like Leviticus 1:1, and then I can go back to Psalms 142:1, and you just move around that way. So let's go back to Genesis 1:1 where I had it. Okay, so then you got a search there. If you want to search the translation or you want to search the interlinear. I've never done that, so that's something you can play with if you want. Interlinear. These are the different interlinears that are there. You got New Testament Greek to English. That's what your New Testament is. Then the Old Testament Hebrew to English. If you speak Dutch or if you speak German, then you can do Dutch. Or if you're from the Netherlands, you can do that. So anyway, that kind of thing. Okay, the lines here, there are different lines that you can add to this. I just have the two lines. I have the Kettiv, which is the markings, and the Hebrew text, and then I have the WLC, which is the I don't even know what that even is anymore. But anyway, those are the two I have. View, you can zoom it out. Now I've zoomed mine out. So if you do a control plus, come on. You do control plus, it will zoom it out. And if you zoom, go back in, it's control minus. So I've got mine all the way out 300%. So that's so we can see it. So I know that it's hard to read that, so I like to get it big enough so I can see the dot points clearly. So that viewpoint with the zoom is very good. You can position different things if you want, right to left, just different things if you want to do that. Transit to Windows. Okay, help, and you can check for updates here. I know that mine, when I loaded it up, it said it needed to be updated. So when after class or maybe tomorrow or something, I'll go in there and check for updates and update it. All right. Okay. So this is to set the bookmark. If you want to set Genesis 1:1 bookmark, you just click on that. Search there. These are just different windows that you can open up, but I like just to use the first one. All right. So that just kind of get us going. Now here's the interesting thing about this. Some of the ones, you may have a window that underneath here that's actually got some pronunciation underneath it, and if you can make that work, God bless you, because it doesn't make sense to me. I can't follow their reasoning on their phonetics of their transliteration. But anyway, so I just take it off so it doesn't bug me. And then because I can figure out what the pronunciation, I can do transliteration. All right, so what we're going to do today is we're going to actually start reading the scriptures. So we're going to start with this one, and then we're going to move to some other ones, and then we can look at any scripture you want to look at, just if you want to just see what it says, looks like in the Hebrew. But we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna play some word searches to kind of show you some things about how that works. So, all right. So, yes.
Ours is in like a different form. It's not in a script. It's not. This isn't either.
Really? Let me see what we got here.
I downloaded that way, but
Well, Skip's
Our-
got Windows issues.
I don't see how to change it to. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, go up to lines. Okay, hit Katib, the top one, yep. And then go to lines and take off Gary, and go to the lines, and get rid of that one. Does that help? Oh, wait a minute, there, let me see, go to file. No, that's not it, okay. How about view? Hang on just a second. Oh, text options. Go down to text options on view. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay. Hang on. Maybe it might have to do with the font that's on your computer. That's probably what it is the font that's on your computer. Because this it is picking up my font. I'm guessing now, right? Let's see what we got here. Let me see.
Mine looks like yours, doesn't it? Wow. It's different.
I don't think it makes a whole lot of difference, does it? Are you able to tell what the letters are, or?
It's harder because you're used to looking at that form.
Right.
That's the block form.
Right. Okay. So let's see.
If you were good at Hebrew, it wouldn't be hard.
Well, we all can't read.
Field lines.
Funny.
You got WLC / with the B on it.
The novels.
Yeah, I think okay. Search bookmarks New Testament.
We can work on it.
When I downloaded this today, there was another thing to download. It was
Update.
well, no, that was for the whole thing, but there was another one below that, and it had to do with the font.
Oh, really?
Well, it has something to do with fonts, and I don't see where
It was a separate download on the internet, David.
Okay. All right.
Not in the program. When you downloaded the program, below
Okay.
where you hit the download, the
Yeah.
very next thing down there was the block letters.
I got you. Okay. All right. Well, play around with it and see what you can find, because, okay. So, I know Skip knows this sentence, so I'm not going to ask him to read it because he knows how to read it.
I
But
go 3 words out.
you know 3 words. Okay. So let's take his first word. Hannah, what's his first? Can you pronounce that first word?
I cannot. I can't see it all real good right here.
I'm sorry, what's that? Oh, I said, I was talking to Hannah, and I'm talking, and I thought you saw I said Hannah. Well, we got Hannah
Yeah.
and Hannah. So I'm gonna go.
Oh, okay.
All right. We'll call you by your Hebrew name, Hannah. All right. So Hannah, what is that first word?
That's cheating. Yeah, I already saw it because the way that it has on this format, it has a transliteration. So you should ask somebody else.
Well, that's okay. I mean, if you can you can do that transliteration. My transliteration is terrible. Let me see what yours is. It gets close, right? Yeah. Well, see, and that's the Ashkenazi pronunciation because you wouldn't have the th on it. Yeah. But see, the second one, that next word is not raw, all right? It's Bara, but you can't tell from the way that's put in there. But anyway, all right. So how do you pronounce that? Hannah?
Is that,
Bidrashit. Now here's an interesting thing. We learned that the bait with that is in the front of the word means in, with, or by, right? If it's got the two dots underneath it, the sheva underneath it, then it's in, with, or by. But if it's got the line, my mind is blank on me now. What's that? Looks like a minus sign. What is that? Just a straight line underneath it.
The patak.
Patak. Okay, so if it's got a patak underneath it, then it's in thee, or with thee, or by thee, because it's contracted with the hey. So if there's a patak underneath the bait, it's in thee, with thee, or by thee. But if it's got the sheva underneath it, then it's in, with, or by. So this is in. Now let's so we know that's a prefix, okay? What would all words are going to have a root in it? It's going to either be a 2 or 3 letter root. 98% of them are going to be 3-letter roots. There's only a few of them that have 2-letter roots. So what you want to look for is the root word. So what would you think is the root word in this word right here? Okay, what letters? Give me the letters. Resh.
that one, and then
This is the aleph, aleph,
Sheen.
and the sheen, and so that's pronounced rosh. Rosh. Once you see the vowels change when you go looking for the stem. All right. So that's I'm sorry, the root. In Greek it's stems, and Hebrews it's roots. All right. So this is the root, or the sheresh. The sheresh, the word sheresh means root. So this is the sheresh of the word. And so what is rosh? Does anybody know what rosh means? Head, or beginning, or primary, first. This is the problem with translation, because there generally is a whole list of words that word can be, all right, depending on context. And so so you're looking at that, you're going, well, that could be first, it could be head, it could be, a lot of different things. So it could be beginning. There's several other ones, okay? So that's rosh, that's our, and then we have this right here, which is added to it, right? That's kind of interesting. So that's kind of a suffix. Now we'll get into that a little, some other time. All right. So what we want to do now? Let's say we wanted to find out every time the word Bereshit occurred in the Tanakh, in the Old Testament, right? So I click on it. I do a left click, and that comes up, and I can do a lot of things. There's the Strong's number right there, and I can click on that, or I can click there. I can click anywhere, but let's just click right here, and it comes up here. All right. So let's say I wanted to find out. So I'm going to go a search. So I click on search, and over there is every time that Bereshit appears in the Old Testament. It's like Ellie is joining us. All right. Okay, so let's just do that. Let's just look at where we Genesis 1:1. Then we have this one, which is Jeremiah 26 verse 1, and they highlight it for you so you can see where it is. But there's Bereshit right there. In the beginning of the kingship of Jehoiakim. Yep. So this is Mamalekut. Mamlekut. Because the first one is going to be silent, so that's a stop. So it's mam le kut. Mamlekut. And there, so that's yeah. And the mem prefix is from or this guy. We'll get into that some of the time. But anyway, you have the Melech in here. Melech is the king. So the kingship, and then you have his name, Yehoiakim, Ben, son of, right?
Josiah.
Very good. Yoshahu, I'm sorry, Yoshiyahu, boy, Yeshiyahu. So we're used to saying Josiah, and so it's hard to get that out of our head when we're looking at Yoshiyahu. Melech, there's the king right there, Melech, king. Yehuda is Judah. And then Haya came. These are the forms of the verb to be. All right, Haya became, or could be was. Okay, but they translated it as became. This would be was as the verb to be, but they obviously it doesn't do good to put Judah was the word, so it came this word. All right. Then we have Adabar, the word, because you got the ha, which is the, and the bar, which is the word, and then you have Hazeh, Met, and what's this one?
Yahweh.
Yeah, Yahweh, Jehovah. Okay, then you have Lemor. All right. Okay, so then we can go down to the next one. It's Jeremiah 27, just one more verse down. Same thing. Jeremiah 20. So there's 5 times that Bereshit appears in the Old Testament. Pretty cool, huh? So let's do this now. Let's go down to the Strong's number and see what happens if I do that. The Strong's number, and let's do a search. And look at there. Now we have all the derivations of Bereshit. So let's just look at some here. Let's go to this one. This has got a Bereshit. So it's got the Reshit, but it didn't have the beit in there. It's got a V in there. So and the beginning, or and head, or and startup, or and whatever. Okay. Then we have Exodus 23. That's just the Reshit by itself. First fruits. Beginning and first fruits. Exodus 30, probably the same thing. We can go down here to Numbers. So you can see different. I'm not going to go through every one of them, but the Strong's number will give you every variation of that.
Numbers 15:21.
Numbers 15:21. I sort of made you see over here. Okay, 15:21. 15:21. There we go. The first of your course meal you give to Yahweh a heave offering throughout your generations.
Amen.
Amen starting.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Amen starting.
Yes, a mem. Of the first or from the first. Because mem is from or of or, okay? All right. All right, is that pretty cool?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go back to Genesis 1:1. All right, then you have the word bara. Bara is he created. And also bara is only used of the creator. So when a creator creates, it's bara. When a man creates, it's a different word, all right? So let's go down to that one, see how many times that comes up. That's how many times bara is in there that is referring to God creating, all these scriptures. So if you're doing a word study, or you want to do a teaching on something, and you want to just do a word study on something, you can just click on it, and man, this is really it's really easy to do that. Now the other thing you can do is, let me see now, let me think. Let me see what else I can do here. Oh, translation. So I can click over here on translation, and those are New Testament. And it's not, okay, that's not what I wanted. All right, hang on. Oh, I know what, if you notice here, it's got in beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth. So what they did is they take it word for word. There is let's see if I can add that other line where it's got the, there you go, okay. So now we have the translation of the word right underneath it. So this is an interlinear translation. So you can actually teach yourself some words here. So Elohim, and of course we know who Elohim is. Okay, so what about this word right here? Skip, pronounce that word for me. Helps if I get the line off in there, right? Okay. Okay, first of all, how many vowels we got? 4 vowels, so we're going to have 4 syllables. And you only have 5 letters, so you're going to have to break it down almost every letter. With the exception of maybe, so if you got 4 syllables and you only got 5 letters.
Well, the last 2 are the last syllable.
Yeah.
The yod and the.
So that means that the rest of them are going to be divided. Okay, so now say it.
8.
No.
Ah.
This is batak.
Ah.
Ah. Shah.
Mem.
Ma.
Ma.
Yim. Hashemayim.
Hashemayim.
Hashemayim. Now this is a little harder to find what the root is, because this is a Shemayim is that's the singular and the plural. It's like Yerushalayim, that's singular and plural. All right.
We say Shemaim. Is that right?
Shemayim is heaven or heavens.
Right.
Yeah. Shemayim. Hashemayim is the heavens.
The heaven.
Yeah. So the ha there, the hey with the patak underneath is the. So you can just, when you're looking, so that's Shemayim. Now here's the interesting thing. In Shemayim, you have the Mayim, which is water. And you also have, let's see, and so so you actually have fire and water in the heavens. I have to. We think the two counteracting each other, but God when in creation, He created the heavens, and He created them where they would have fire and water. I don't know if you ever seen a thunderstorm with the lightning. What do you have? Fire and water. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. So that's kind of interesting about the heavens there. Okay. Let's the next word over right here. What is that? Anybody want to? TJ, what? How do you want to say that word?
Uh, by,
Okay.
is that
Okay, this is a Sheva.
right?
So what's the sound of Sheva?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
so
so
vin,
the, this is the Sari,
yeah, so I,
A,
A.
yeah,
The
the eight,
eight,
the eight.
the eight,
And the Bob with the Shiva is the word and. That's why it's translated and, but see this, these little marks right here? That means that that's not translatable.
okay,
We had the same word right here, eight,
Yeah.
without the Bob,
The aleph and the tau.
the olive and the top. Okay? The first and last letter of the Hebrew alphabet.
so the eight is just, really. The rest of it's
Exactly, exactly. But they call this a direct object pointer because it points to direct object. So we have the heavens is direct object and also the earth is direct object. And then they're what receiving the action of creating. All right? But we know that they don't need to have that.
Yeah.
There would be no reason for Moses to even put that in there.
And he wouldn't have.
Exactly. There's no reason for him to even have a direct object pointer because anybody knows what the direct object is the one to receive the action. You can look at any sentence and figure that out. You don't have to have a direct object pointer to do that. Not only that, but it's inconsistent. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not there. For example, in the story with Esau and Jacob, prior to the selling of the birthright, we find the Aleph Tav, the word et there, we find it before both of those boys' names. After the selling of the birthright, it only appears before Yaakov's name, Jacob's name. Never again after in front of Esau in that story. That's amazing, isn't it? Because this has to do with covenant. It's the strength of the covenant. The Aleph is the strong strength, and Tav is the covenant, strength of the covenant. So the strength of the covenant was over both boys. So even though Jacob was chosen literally before he was born, right? Because it was prophesied, the younger shall rule over the elder. Prophesied to his mother. So there was two nations in your womb, right? And had Jacob and his mother and Esau and his father just let things go, I believe that God somehow or another would have not only fulfilled his word to Jacob, but also would have blessed Esau. As it turned out, Esau ends up being cursed, and he ends up being hated, and literally became an enemy of Judah over the years.
I married an Ishmaelite too, so.
Yeah, that also
Wasn't supposed to, but.
yeah, wasn't supposed to. So that was another thing that got in there. So, but I find it interesting when we get to Revelation, when Yeshua said to John, and we read it in our King James Bible, and if you read it in the Greek, it also says, "I'm the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end." But he wouldn't have been speaking Greek, and even if he was, let's say for sake of argument that he was speaking Greek. I don't believe he was, but let's say he was. Then what or even writing in Greek. I believe that the Hebrew translation of Aleph Tav would be a Hebrew translation of Alpha and Omega would be Aleph and the Tav. So when Yeshua was speaking to John there on the Isle of Patmos, and he heard that trumpet, heard the shofar like voice behind him, and he turned to look, and he saw the glorified Christ. First thing he says to him, he says, "I am the Aleph and the Tav." In other words, I am that unpronounceable word that has been in your language all from the very beginning of time.
That represents covenant.
That represents covenant. That represents the strength of the covenant. So,
It's there about 9,000 times.
yeah. And if you remember, it was John that wrote John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God, and the same was in the beginning with God. And then down in verse 14, and the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we, yeah. So the olive top, but it's not translatable. So there's no translation. So you'll never see that in the English. You only see that in the Hebrew. And it's interesting when you start looking at where the olive top appears. When it's with that vowel marking. Now, when it has a different vowel marking, it means something completely different. So, all right. So let's look at that one. Let's go to Psalms 23. That's always a good one, right? Everybody knows what Psalms 23 is, right? So we go to Psalms 23, verse 1. Yahweh is my shepherd; nothing shall I lack. And it's only 1, 2, 3. Well, I don't know why there's so much space there, but anyway. Oh, I guess because they had to put the one being the shepherd of me. All right, so we have the Psalm of David. You can kind of, that's Mitzmor, Lid David. That's his Psalm of David. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 words to say Yahweh is my shepherd, nothing shall I lack. So it's only 4 Hebrew words. You can memorize that, right? You can memorize that. So let's go to Yahweh. So we have Yahweh, right?
Yahweh.
What is that? What's the next one?
So, it's a Resh,
That's a Resh.
Nain, and Yod.
Yeah, Resh, Ayin, Yod. Then you have the vowel markings.
Ro,
Roi,
Roi,
Roi, shepherd. My shepherd. The Yud, so Yud on the end makes it possessive. Roi is my shepherd. Roeh is shepherd. Different ending, vowel ending. All right, so Roi is my shepherd. So Yahweh is my shepherd. Then we have this little word. What's that little word?
No.
Lo.
No is no.
Lo is no or not. Okay. In this case, they translated it as nothing. Okay. All right. And then I shall lack. So lack is these 3 words right here. This aleph in this word is a prefix meaning I shall. You see an aleph in front of a word and there's another root word in there, and the aleph is not part of the root word. Then aleph is a prefix. If the aleph is part of the root word, then that's different. So if the aleph is not part of the root word and it begins the letter, then that's a prefix and it means I shall. All right. So I shall lack. So this is not. So if we're going to look, it would be Yahweh, my shepherd, no, I shall lack. Yes.
This is unrelated. Kenny is trying to join. He said he's not able to.
I'm sorry. I got to let him get in there. Was he dinging? Well, I don't see.
I thought I heard a little ding.
Yeah, but I don't see him on there now. Tell him to try again. Okay, Anna, are you still there?
Yes, I am, but it's really blurry.
It's blurry on your end?
Yes, on my end it is.
Okay. Boy, I don't know.
It's like it gets blurry and then it gets clear and then it's back to blurry.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to remedy that. Okay, here we go. Ken's is entering in the waiting room, so let him in. Okay, so what would you like to look? Let's look up Shepherd, and let's go down to the Strong's Concordance, and look at all that. There's 5 different Strong's numbers for Shepherd. So now you can really get into a search. So let's get that back up there. All right, and let's do a search. And it's off the page. That's how many times Shepherd is in there. And you can just keep on going all the way down. You get down to all the way to the bottom of the
You're only
page.
halfway home and you get down to the bottom.
Really?
Yeah, you're in Isaiah now.
If you ever if you wanted to count that, you could even count how many times Shepherd is in the Old Testament, and different variations of it. All right, so let's see if I can get this back to the top.
You're on 4-2.
What's that?
You're on 4-2.
Yeah, I wanted to go to Psalms. I love Psalms there.
Oh, Psalms 1.
There you go.
That right there?
One up.
One
There you
up? Okay. All right. So let's look at lack here. And we're gonna do a search. And that's all the time all the places that lack is in there.
Can you bring up
Yeah.
Genesis 8:3?
Genesis
Should
8:3,
be the top on the list.
very top one. Okay.
They are evading.
They are evading.
That's lack.
That's the lack. So they are becoming they're becoming less.
Right.
Yeah, they're lacking. They're starting to become lacking. That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. So the waters were returning off the earth, returning. Okay. At the end of the 150 days, the waters were evading. All right.
So this is the blood, obviously,
Right.
that we're talking about.
Rescinding.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So this kind of gives you a pretty good. All right, I'll tell you what. Why don't we just try to read this one? How about? Let's see. How about? I don't want to. Dennis, how do you feel about maybe reading that whole thing? Let's see how far you can go before it gets so tedious that we have to just interrupt you. All right. All right. So what's that first word?
Returning.
What is it even?
Well done, well done.
All right. Yeah.
No,
Baish.
no, because there's that sharuk underneath this sheen, so you're gonna have to, that's gonna have to be a syllable, right? So vaya
Baya.
shuvu,
Bayashu.
vaya shuvu. Okay, and you have the word shuv here, which is a 2-letter root, shuv, right there, and shuv is to return, right? Turn around, the shuv, where we get the word tshuva, yeah, which is incorrectly, or not necessarily incorrectly, but at least is teshuva is returning. It's been translated as repentance, but that's kind of a real weak translation of it. It's a returning tshuva. So the return, shuv is the return. All right, so what's this word?
Hamam.
No. It's 3 syllables.
Hamayam.
What's this? What's this?
Oh, Hamayim.
Amayim.
Hamayim.
Amayim. So that's the, right? So you have Mayim, which is waters. So Hamayim, the waters. What's this word?
Meil.
No,
Mayim.
no. What's this patak? What's the sounding of the patak? Ah,
Meal.
mayal, mayal. Okay, so the al means on or to on, and then you have the prefix which is from, so from on. Okay. All right, then this word.
3 syllables.
Yeah.
Haaretz.
Haaretz. You'll see this word a lot because what's that word? That's the earth or land.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, it's Israel.
Isn't it another word for Adam too?
No,
No.
no.
I know there's another.
Adam was taken from the Adamah. The Adamah is
I mean for man, not.
man is either Adam, Enosh, what's the other one? Ganer. Ganer? I think so. Yeah, okay. All right. So what's this one?
Halak.
Halok.
Halak.
Halok. So halakha. Okay. So you have halok.
Halak.
Halok is to go. So because it comes from the root of the word lek. Okay. To take a step to move forward. So is it go. Okay. Then we have the next one.
Ashu.
No.
Asho.
Basho. Basho.
Basho.
And there that shov is, that shu right there, show, to return, and so we got and return or and to return, okay? Then you have this one. I'm getting feedback, I'm sending it from the speaker. All right, mayak, because that's so we got two shapers together, the first one is silent, okay? So mayak, se, that's a samek, seru, barak siru, barak siru, okay? And that's, and they are abating, or, okay? So then what's this one?
That's waters again.
That's waters again.
Yep.
Amayim. Amayim. Migzeh. 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 Okay, and then what's this one?
Way too many dots underneath there.
What's that?
You got a line and 2 dots there. It says way too many dots underneath that.
Yeah, but you don't have to, you can just ignore the Sheva and just do the patak, all right? Okay, so this is a,
Kamishim.
Kamishim. All right? And then this word right here. Okay, so what's that vowel right there and with the vowel there? What's that vowel?
Almost like a dog.
Sharuk. So what's that sound then?
We.
No, no,
Ooh.
ooh. And then what's this word?
Oh, sugar, okay.
Umayat,
Yeah.
Umayat, and 100. Okay, that's 100. So this is 50, and this is 100, and 100. Okay? And then what is this word?
Yom.
Yom, day. Eventually, what you're going to do is you'll get to where you recognize some of these words, especially Oretz and Yom and these other words that are in here, Mayim. And what will happen is you'll recognize them. You won't even be looking at the vowels anymore. And when you start doing that, then you're starting getting into you're becoming real literate. Because if you ever go to Israel and you read the signs, there's no vowels on the signs. So you have to know what they're meaning when they put those words up there. All right. But this is a way for us to get to learn the language, and eventually we want to do that. All right. So anybody got a scripture they want to look up?
Well, I looked at Genesis 1:2, and I noticed that the word vibrating there.
Genesis 1:2. Let's pull that one up. Where's my mouse? Lost my mouse. Hello, mouse. Where are you? There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so Genesis 1:2.
Yeah. And I just noticed the word vibrating. It's the only place it's used, right here. It's in the second line or the end.
Second line, right in here.
Yeah. This is the only place that word is used.
I got it.
Isn't that usually translated like hovering?
Yeah. I got it in Deuteronomy and Jeremiah.
There's 3 places right there if you do the Strong's.
Okay, I was doing the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Now, what did you say?
So that word vibrating right there, so that's 4 syllables.
Yep. So, Hannah, what did you say about you said something I didn't catch all of it.
I was just commenting on how, I've never seen that word used in any English translation. It's always hovering or, actually, I think that's really the only word that's used.
Right. Yeah.
Rest, maybe, but we want it.
Yeah. Which and hovering doesn't give you the same idea as vibrating does, right?
Do you
Understand?
think that's just like the translator's error, or why would they leave that out?
Well, there's several things going on with translations. One is that whatever time period the translators in. This is like King James. Okay, King James is in 1611. That's why you have these and nows and everything else. All right. It's also why they translate some words that makes no sense in English. A case in point would be in the New Testament. Paul is writing and he says to them, I think it's Corinthians, but he was saying, you're not straightened in us, but you're straightened in your own bowels. Well, that makes no sense in English, right? It made a lot of sense in old England, all right? And maybe even still makes sense in New England, in England as a country, in Great Britain. But it doesn't make any sense in our American English, because it sounds like somebody's got a bad case of constipation. You're not straightening us, but you're straightening your own bowels. But if you understand now to understand the English text, you have to understand the time period the translators that were in, so as a whole, if you're going to go that much trouble, you might as well go to the original language and then tie it into the culture of the day it was written. But nevertheless, just to straighten that one out, where it says straighten, that's a word, that's an old English word. It means hindered. So if I was on my way to class tonight and there was a train that was blocking my way and I was late, I would come in and I said, I was straightened by a train today. And of course, if we were in Old English, we would understand what that he's hindered. He was straightened.
Is that like where the expression like dire straits?
Probably is. Yeah.
Yeah, narrowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a couple places, it says his steps were straightened.
Yeah.
Straight.
Yeah.
Well, it's the AI, not the GH.
Okay. Yeah. So then you have the word bowels now. So, okay, so I'm hindered by my bowels? That still don't make sense, all right? But vowels were considered by the Old English and also, you know, even in Hebrew, but vowels was the seat of the emotions. So what he was saying was that you're not hindered by me. You're hindered because of your own emotions. In other words, you need to get your emotions in check because I'm not doing anything wrong. So your own emotions are causing this problem, not me. I'm not trying to. I'm just pointing out to you that your emotions are getting in the way of reason.
So you're saying it's not me, it's you.
It's not me, it's you. Basically, it's what he's saying. It's not me, it's you. You're an emotional mess, and I'm not going to play that. You know, what is it? What is that saying? I'm canceling all your issues or something. I don't know. I forget how it is now, but something about canceling issues.
I noticed that she became, first line, darkness and vacancy, chaos, she became.
Okay, all right.
I'm just wondering on the gender. Why would she, what is she?
All right, let's see where you're at here.
Top line.
Top line.
Yep, top line.
And the earth, she became chaos, vacancy, and darkness. The earth is a woman or female referred to.
Because the to be verb right here has got they added the feminine ending on it. Okay, and it shows direction, but it also shows a feminine ending. So the word is a feminine ending. That's not unusual. In fact, this is why the rabbis say that the Holy Spirit is the feminine aspect of God.
I've heard that.
Yeah. This isn't the only place, but this is one of the places where they.
Can't be. She's he.
Well, we do have he here, but that's
No,
tohu.
that's she there.
That's tohu. That's tohu bavahu. Tohu bavohu is chaos and vacancy. And then there's a lot to those two words too sometimes, but yeah, this is a to be verb and it's in the feminine form. So it's so the earth became. Let's see. And darkness and the spirit of the vibrations of it. Okay, so the earth then is the feminine part. I'm sorry. So earth is feminine apparently, because this has to do with the earth. But I know they also do the spirit of Elohim too. I
You
always
can get away with that by saying that the earth is the provider for all life sustenance.
probably, yeah.
And you get it through that way.
I guess I've never understood it, even in Spanish. I don't understand the genders in Spanish either. Why they assign some words and other words, because it doesn't seem logical to my thinking anyway. But I'm sure there are rules that go along with that, but I just don't know where they are. All right.
And the
Is that
French are
hay?
actually even shocking on gender.
Yeah.
Is the hay at the end of Yahweh a feminine ending for that word, or is it just?
Well,
the hay?
the Yahweh, the Aeon, Yahweh. See, Yahweh is actually not actually. It's not actually a word. It's a combination of all three forms of to be. So he is, he was, he will be is all part of that. Okay. So Yahweh is actually a combination of all forms of to be. So he's identifying himself to Moshe as the ever existing one who has always existed and always will exist. Okay, so that's what that word breaks down to be. And now then you I believe that also that he was giving Moses a message in that particular word, because you have the Yud, which is a mighty hand, then you have a Hey, which is a door or a window, and it has to do with movement. So you coming in or out, Then you have the Vav, which has to do with connection or establishing. And then you have another Hey, which is either coming in or out. So I believe that Moshe could have taken that name and explained to his people. He could have said, with a great hand. So Yahweh, with a great hand, is going to bring you out. He's going to establish you as a nation, and he's going to bring you into the promised land. And think about salvation. Salvation is just that. With a mighty hand, he delivered us out of the kingdom of darkness. And then he established us into his kingdom. And we became kings and priests. And then he's bringing us into the kingdom of heaven, which we're moving into that glorious kingdom. So there's the gospel message right there in the name Yahweh. So, but Yahweh's a word completely by itself. That in most places they don't even see the vowel markings underneath it. They add the vowel markings on there because they add the vowel markings of Adonai onto that, and so that it reminds them to say Adonai instead of Yahweh.
I don't say
They don't say Yahweh. They don't say Jehovah, Yehovah. They don't say anything like that. They use
Hashem.
Hashem or Adonai. When they are talking out in public, it's Hashem. When they're reading the scriptures, it's Adonai. So when they're reading it and they come to Yod He Vav He, they read that as Adonai. But when they're referring to him, it's Hashem, the name. He's just the name.
How would they react to someone like me, Yahovah?
They would probably say you're pronouncing it wrong. It doesn't matter, but you're desecrating his name, and so you're violating one of the commandments, and so you're taking his name in vain. But I know, but that would be what they were doing.
Okay.
All right, you want to look at another scripture? Give me a good scripture. How about something in Psalms? How about Psalms 100? That's always a good one, right?
Oh, Psalms 110. That was quoted. That's when.
Okay, we'll do Psalms 110.
That said, that's where he closed them down.
Okay, Psalms 110, verse 1.
Yeah.
The avering of Yahweh to my Lord, set at my right hand until I should set your enemies as a stool for your feet. Okay, so averment of. It's interesting when you see it translated word for word. There's Yahweh. La Adonai. La Adonai, two. La in the beginning is prefix for two. La Adonai, to the Lord of me, to my Lord or Lord of me. Shame. Sit you. And then two again, Limini, right to the right hand of me. So the right hand is Yamin, and that's hand, Yamin. Right, so then until Ad, that's a Ayin Dalit. Ashit, I shall set, Ashit. And for this one, I got a wrinkle, right? So I got to look around there.
Yeah, so feet letter on the end of that little bad boy.
Yeah. Oi, Veka, Oveka, 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 Oveka. All right. Then we have this one. Adom. Adom's stool. Adom. And then for the feet, or to the feet, for the feet. Raglika. All right.
So the Lamed was silent then?
And so what's that?
The Lamed is silent?
No, I'm sorry, le ka. Yeah.
Let's say take the next, let's see, yeah, take the next verse. Because he's getting into the point, I did all these things and then
Okay, so we go down here, click on that. Okay, so what's his first word?
no, it's not Ogle.
Ma,
Ma,
mate, mate,
Yeah.
mate, mate. Oh, I thought this one. Utska. Utska. Okay. Okay, then what's this one? So you have a Yud, a Shin, a Lamed, and a Chet.
okay.
With a Karik under the Yud, a Sheva under the Shin, a Patak under the Lamed, and no vowel under the Chet.
Shilach.
Yishalak. Yishalak. Okay? There is a Yud in front of there, which is a prefix. It was he shall. He shall. Remember we had the Aleph, which is I shall. This is he shall. So like in the priestly blessing, it goes Yivarekaka, the first word, Yivarekaka. You hear the Yud in there, the first syllable, Yivarekaka. He shall bless you. So the translation where it says, may the Lord bless you, is wrong. It should be, it should be, Yahweh shall bless you, and Yahweh shall keep you, and Yahweh shall make his face to shine upon you. He shall do that. It's an emphatic word there, but they don't translate that because they don't translate it right, because they're afraid of saying something that is forcing God to do something that maybe he doesn't want to do. In other words, it's not my place to tell him he should do anything. But he gave those words, and he said, you say these very words over my people. So what he's actually saying, and they pronounce it right in Hebrew, but when it's translated, it changes to may, and it's not may, it's he shall. Yahweh shall. Yahweh shall bless you. Yahweh shall make his face to shine upon you. It's very strong. All right. So when that priest of the blessing is putting on there, he's literally saying, he's calling upon Yahweh to do that. And Yahweh said, when you say these words over my people, I will bless them. So in other words, I will respond to the priest that's putting that blessing. If you put your blessing on your children, if on Shabbat night you bring your children out and you lay your hands upon them, you pray that blessing over them. God has promised that he will hear you from on heaven, and he will hear those words, and he will do what you asked him to do. He will bless them. He will keep them. He will make his face to shine upon them. So that's kind of interesting. I think it's interesting that when Yeshua went up, it says he lifted his hands when he was going up into heaven. He lifted his hands and he blessed them. He lifted his hands like this and blessed them as he's going up. This is the way Jesus went up into heaven, with it like that. Only he would have said to his disciples, I will bless you. I will keep you. I will make my face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. And so the interesting thing is, they left that with great joy. They left that scene with great joy.
My computer finally got to unload Windows.
Yeah.
But see, mine's different than all your guys, because look at here. I've got the Hebrew words in between the English.
Yeah, I got that too.
That's, you get that from the lines.
Yeah, you can take that.
Oh, you change that from the lines. Yeah, on the lines, you can change that.
I got it on mine, but it doesn't, it's not very good.
It's not, yeah, it's
I'm
probably
not using it because it's not a very good.
transliteration.
Yeah, it's not at
Yeah,
all.
I know, it's
Like the go hey Bob hey there next.
yeah,
It says IU or IEUE.
IEUE, yeah, yeah.
Ewe, Ewe.
Yeah, right. Well, and that's another pronunciation, by the way, is looking at that as all vowels.
Another thing is in the, since I've been watching the Hebrew Roots shows, Nehemiah Gordon has found that the Yod Hey Vav Hey there, above the first hey, right above the little notch, there is a one dot up there.
A colon, yeah.
The colon is above the first hey, which is a O. So Yahovah. And that's the way they're enunciating it.
And the way it's written though, it's Yehe Hey. If you pronounce it with the vowel mark.
Yeah, you would pronounce it.
Yehe Hey.
I want to say there's another.
No, I know. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, yeah. If you tried to pronounce it, that. Yeah. Okay, so
Can you?
Yeah.
From Zion there, can you pronounce that? I'm struggling.
Mizion, 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 Yon. See, this is Yon, Mizion. It's a TZ, Mitzion, Mitzion. Because Zion is Zion, okay? So Mitzion. All right, anybody else have anything? All right, let's, what time is it going to be?
10 after 8.
10 after 8. Let's stop this. So this was the first program that I started practicing my Hebrew on, and this is where I started getting the pronunciations good, and so this was very beneficial to me. Plus, it helped me to see the actual translation word by word when I'm doing a study, because sometimes, you know, you read it in English and then you read it here and you go, well, that has a different connotation that way. Now I can understand.
The syllables better too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
That's I struggle with that. I know it's simple, you know, 3 syllables there.
So, you know, if you want, when you go to your Shabbat services, or if you go to any service, when they give a text, take your computer and look it up on the computer in there, and see what it says in Hebrew, and you can read it in Hebrew while they're reading it in English.
Yeah, I have an interlinear Bible. Sarah and I have one.
Okay.
It's giant,
It's giant, yeah.
and it's tough to go through. It's really hard. I mean, you can find everything fine, but it doesn't really help me.
I like it because I could get it big enough so I can see the vowel points. Because this Bible right here is fine, but I have to have a magnifying glass to see the vowel point. I can see them, I can read them, but it takes me a lot longer because I have to look for. If I have a magnifying glass, it pops up. But so it's a little harder. But all right, there it goes. Okay. Anybody else got any questions? Anybody online got any questions? Ken, are you got any questions, Ken?
He's still there.
He's there. He's walking around.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I was muted. I don't have any questions.
Okay. All right. Sam, how are you doing?
Fine,
You're
Pastor.
frozen. Yeah. You got any questions, Sam?
No question.
Okay. All right. What do you think? What do you think? Was you able to see the board pretty good, Sam?
No, it's not that much visible, but your voice is very much audible. But you send that links now, that software links, Hebrew linear,
Okay.
so we can see it from our screen.
Okay. So, all right, so we'll see everybody next week.